Hi guys, Miss Moss, and I'm going to give you an overview of what we're going to be doing this week for week number 5. We are going to be looking at 2 chapters, same as we always do, but the first thing I want to mention to you is that you have a midterm exam due on Tuesday. This exam covers chapters 1 through 7, and what it is basically is a pulling questions from all 7 of the chapters that we've already done. So make sure that you get those done. All right. So this week we're going to continue with our insurance that we did last week, and we're going to be talking more about them for this week. First, in chapter 9, we're talking about health and disability insurance. We're going to be looking at the three different types of health insurance that most of you will be looking at. We're looking at HMO, which is a health maintenance organization, a POS, which is a point of service, and a PPO, which is a preferred provider organization. And if possible, you want to get your health insurance through your company. It is a group policy is so much cheaper than you trying to buy insurance on your own. Insurance can break you. We have to have insurance. So if you're working full time or when you are looking for a full-time job and you're looking at the benefits, you want to make sure that you are given the opportunity to participate in health insurance. And so you want to know that part of your budget must be going to pay those health insurance premiums. You want to know the benefits. What's the best insurance, HMO, POS, or PPO? I can tell you from experience and from teaching this class for several years that the younger you are, the easier, first of all, it is to get health insurance. And number two is that HMO is going to be your cheapest option, but it's got its limitations. That means they will tell you who you have to use as a doctor. They will give you a group and you have to choose one from there. And so that's who you have to go to. A lot of times they like Kaiser Permanente, and you have to go, if you live in Canton, you may have to go down to Kennesaw to go to their building. But if it's not a problem for you to travel that far, it would make it a lot easier for you to use that because the premiums are probably half of what that you would pay if you got a PPO provider. You have to have a referral if you need to go to a specialist. In order to have surgery, you have to get approval. So that's kind of the downside of the HMO. The pro is that it is less costly than a point of service or a PPO provider. So you want to you want to compare all of those. You need to know what your company provides for you. Some companies only provide HMOs. Some of them provide, you get to choose. So that is something you need to sit down with you or your spouse and you need to look at. One thing, I do have some younger participants in this class. If you are not 26, stay on your parents' insurance until you turn 26. Take full advantage of it. It doesn't matter whether you're married or not. You can stay on your parents' insurance until you're 26. So those are some things you want to think about. Then the last half of the chapter is talking about disability insurance, short-term disability, long-term disability, and workers' comp. So you want to know if you're hurt on the job, you're going to use workers' comp. But if you are hurt in a car accident or you're out skiing and you get hurt, then you want disability insurance that would cover you if you're not working. And you need to know it does not pay 100% of your salary. So you'll need to look at that. Some of them pay 70%, some pay 80, some only pay 60%. So you have to know, could I survive on just this insurance? Short term is usually, I'm not completely sure. It depends on the policy, anywhere from 3 to 9 months, and then long term has to kick in. Look at your policy again through your company. If it's $2 or $3, $4 a month, I highly suggest you take it just for the peace of mind on that. So that is chapter 9. Chapter 10 is talking about life insurance. And I know you're most of you in here are younger and you're not thinking about life insurance. But I want you to think of something. I had a preacher say one time, and he said, he told us this years ago, and it impressed me so much that I have I've preached it to all my classes. In fact, the valedictorian, the last year I taught full time on campus, was one of my former students. She was one of my freshman students. And she actually used this quote in her valedictorian address, saying that I had mentioned it the first day of class and it stuck with her. So I'm hoping it'll stick with you, especially when you're thinking about life insurance. He said, the only breath you've ever been promised is the one you just took. So if you drop dead tomorrow, today, would your family be able to financially survive? If you are single, you just need to get that life insurance policy through your company. It's $7 or $8 a month, and it will help your parents bury you, or however you want to prepare, however you plan on your remains being taken care of. But you don't want to financially burden your parents. If you're married, you want to think about, will my spouse, it's going to take a spouse a good year to get back on their feet, male or female, and figure out, okay, what have I got to do? Can I financially afford the house? Can I keep my car? What can I do? So you want to provide for that through life insurance policies. If you have children, you need to really have life insurance policy. And the two that the um, book talks mostly about is whole life and term insurance. And you will, if you watch the videos I've made, you will see that I favor term life insurance if you have children, because the term life, as they get older, then you're providing for them, but when they're up and they're out of the house, you're not still you know, paying this exorbitant amount of money for a life insurance policy. And then it also talks about annuities and how you can use an annuity as a life insurance policy for financial security. So that's what we're going to be covering this week. Again, remember to make sure that you do your midterm exam. Have a great week and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.